We live in an amazing, possibly unprecedented time. And yeah, that's really where we're starting this. But listen, we're in a time unlike any generation before us. And while I don't doubt every generation has said that very same thing of themselves in their own time, I also don't doubt that at least this once it's true. And what's more, the terrible, fractious, disorienting movements of history we're living through right now are rooted, amplified, informed, and distorted by the thing that's unique to our time and place. We, the children born into the last half century of the last millennium, were born into an analog world only to find ourselves dying digital deaths, and yes, that is obviously a part of it, but it's not just the death of knobs and levers, or even the way it's placed the Library of Alexandria in every one of our pockets while selling our eyes to the highest bidder. No. It's even more than that. Our generation is already heir to more than a lifetime's worth of the best and worst, the trifling and middling of humanity that came before us, all accidentally and intentionally suspended in the amber of our media. If you stopped everything else and dedicated every waking hour for the rest of your life watching films, television shows, industrial training reels, and home movies, listening to radio dramas, found tapes, published music, and news broadcasts dated only from the day before you were born and earlier, there's already more than you could get through in your lifetime. We are awash in the functionally infinite records of ourselves becoming ourselves. And every day there's only more created and ever greater, faster access to that more that's been created. And it seems we can no more drown in it than a fish can drown in ocean. But we can surely get lost in it the way rain disappears into a river. We can become endlessly recursive, collapsing inwards on ourselves, dying the collective death of 1,000 Marvel remakes, all critiqued in their turn by animated iterations of the honeymooners stretching on for generations of Flickerbox adherents. We can become selfishly amnesic like the shepherds that Xenophon encountered who were unable to name the builders of the Cyclopean walls they sheltered under. We can become a people who no longer know from where the shout huzzah or the phrase jump the shark or the slang jip arises, but find ourselves happily using them all the same. I find myself drawn to a third option, though. The way of rummaging, of wandering through these piles, troves and caches of shadowed echoes, our inheritance full of the faces, hands, extinct scenery, defunct machinery, the almost actual voices of the dead, shadowed echoes of unheralded lives and scripted lies, the stories that came before us and inevitably that inform color and flavor, the stories we tell ourselves about ourselves, whether we realize it or not. And so, Secondhand Triptychs. Moving poems in 3 parts, 3 panels aligned in the same narrative direction, chewing at the edges of the same idea but independent of each other. And all of this, as you've no doubt gathered by now, rummaged images and sounds collaged together for flavor, tone, and color. Collages built to be the wall on which these stories are hung, the light in which we see each panel of the triptych.